Well, no new updates. Today's going to be a burner. It's going to be so much fun. We're actually going to start seated. So crisscross applesauce on your knees, whatever is comfortable for you. Taking a deep breath in. Don't forget to start your watch if you have one. Reaching through those fingertips. I know I forget it every single time. Oh. Me, I always notice it when we hit child's pose and I look at my wrist. I'm like, I never started that. Deep breath in, reaching through the fingertips. Little side bends. Exhale, we're going to take it to the left, leaning onto that left palm or slowly sinking down onto that left forearm. Still reaching through the right fingertips, breathing through the right side body. Slowly sinking further down. Feel free to lift up a little bit. We're going to bring our fingertips to our temples. We're just going to do some gate openers, closing and opening, trying to reach a little bit further back through that elbow every time you lift. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close. Slow and in control, feeling the core engage here, feeling the chest expand. A couple more. Last one, reaching all the way up as high as you can. Might even extend that arm all the way out. Expanding through the ribs, through the belly. And exhale, windmilling all the way over to the other side. And the stretch through the shoulder. Lengthening through the left side body. Feel free to drop down to that forearm if you can. You are comfortable to do so. Reaching just a little bit further through the fingertips. Exhale, feel free to pick yourself up a little bit further, bringing those fingertips to our temples. Exhale, close the gate. Inhale, expanding through the lungs. Lift the chest. Elbow to the ceiling and close. Inhale, lift. Exhale, close, stretching through the upper body, the back, the shoulders, increasing that range of motion. Couple more. Last one, inhale, lift. Feel free to extend that arm all the way out. Exhale, coming back up into center, interlacing those fingers in front of you, tucking that chin down to your chest, rolling out the spine, rolling out the neck. Inhale, lifting all the way up overhead, pushing those palms to the ceiling. And exhale, roll those wrists down. Turning all the way on to our hands and knees, coming into that tabletop position, starting with those cat-cow, shoulders over the heels of our palms, knees stacked under hips, deep breath in, arching the spine, nose lifts to the ceiling, expanding through the stomach, filling it like a balloon. Exhale, squeeze the core, round out the back, and lift. Ribs touching hips. Inhale, expand through the belly, lift the nose. Exhale, squeeze the core, lift the navel. Inhale, arch. Trying to expand a little bit more. Exhale, squeeze, round out that back. Couple more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Coming back down into that neutral spine, go ahead and push back. Find that child's pose. Walk your fingertips all the way up to the top of your mat. Stretching through the shoulders again here. Taking this portion of class, bring awareness to all four corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel your forearms pressed into the mat. Letting go of any stress or tension built up throughout the day. And setting your intentions for the rest of today. Finding a theme for today's class. Is it emotional? Is it physical? Might try box breathing here. In for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. Hold. And repeat. Let's go ahead and take one more deep breath in, lifting all the way back into that tabletop position. We're going to walk our hands a little bit further forward, slightly stacking our hips over our knees. Bring those elbows tight to your sides, slowly lowering yourself down and lifting yourself up, upward facing dog. Feel free to modify this, coming down to your forearms and just finding that Sphinx pose, slowly becoming more comfortable to lift yourself up. Ever is easiest for you. Feel free to look over each shoulder, extending through left and right side body, feeling that stretch through your abdominals. Go ahead and take another deep breath in. Exhale, coming back to center, pushing yourself back, coming into that flow of extended vinyasa and child's pose. Exhale, sink. Inhale, lift. Waking up the shoulders, waking up the back. Doing a couple more, still finding that breath here. Go ahead and do one more. Pushing back. And coming again all the way into that extended vinyasa, but lowering all the way down to your belly. We're just going to reach our hands in front of us. Feel that activation in your back. Lift the chest up off the floor, looking in front of you. Exhale, squeezing elbows to sides. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze those elbows. Trying to feel both left and right side squeeze. Elbows to sides. Inhale, reach. Couple more. Feeling a little bit of a burn in those shoulders. Feeling a little bit of heat generated. Just a nice warm up. Last one. Tucking those elbows, squeeze the back, bring them to our sides. Send those hands behind you. Pick up the back feet, squeeze the glutes here. Don't put all that pressure in your back. We're just gonna hold. Trying to lift that chest a little bit further up off the ground. Using those back muscles, squeezing the glutes, lifting the feet up a little bit higher. You can pedal out the hands and the feet if you'd want. Completely up to you. 5 more seconds, deep breath. Exhale, lowering all the way down. Feel free to shake it out here. Give yourself a little bit of a breather. I'm going to take one more deep breath in. Exhale, pushing all the way up, finding that tabletop position. Go ahead and curl your toes underneath of you. We're going to press through the heels of our palms, shift that weight back, and push those hips high into the air. Slight bend in those elbows, keeping that pressure off of your wrists. Slowly working towards getting both heels on the ground. Gently pedaling up your feet, waking up the backs of your legs. Again, just taking those deep breaths. Pressing through the palms here. Using the back muscles. Ribs to the tops of our thighs. Before we walk our feet to the top of our mat in between both of our hands, finding that forward fold, go ahead and just hang here. Lengthen through the spine. Feel free to grip onto both elbows if that feels good to you. We're just taking deep breaths. Before we exhale, rolling all the way up, vertebra by vertebra, fingertips reach overhead, looking for that length. Feel free to walk your feet out shoulder distance apart. You have option to take little side bends here as well. Before we sink our hips back, hinging and folding down, trying to keep those legs straight, activating through those back muscles, and lifting all the way back up. Reach through the fingertips. Lowering down, flat back, hinging at the hips, stretching through the backs of our thighs, and lift. Squeeze the core, keeping yourself braced. Everything's still engaged. Last one, we're just gonna hinge now. We're gonna add something new. Go ahead and sweep those hands behind you, slight bend in the knee, squeeze the back, reach back in front, and lift. So we're just adding that swim back and bend in the knees, keeping the core still engaged. Now we're just adding a bit more tension in the back, squeezing those muscles, speeding up just a little bit. Slow and in control. Make sure you're feeling that activation. Muscles are burning, but you're not in pain. Couple more. Last one. Squeeze as hard as you can. Big, deep breaths. Lifting all the way up. We're going to go ahead and bring our fingertips to our temples here, still feeling the shoulders squeezing together, and just twist. Feeling it in your core, slow and in control. Make sure you're breathing it out. Little twist, and as you get more comfortable and want to challenge your balance, go ahead and bring one foot up, elbow to knee, and twist. Other side, one foot up, elbow to knee. Slow and in control at first. And then we'll speed it up. Trying to keep your hips squared to the wall in front of you. Feel free to add in a little bit more intensity, increasing that speed just a little bit more. Deep breaths, breathing through it. Couple more. Squeezing through the core. Last one. Taking it back, standing in center. Unhook your hands, reach up, and dive over those feet, forward fold. Taking a break here after that warm up. Before we enter the weights segment of today's workout, a little bit of a burn, but that's okay. Go ahead and take one more deep breath in. Grab those weights if you have them or want them. We're going to reach up, slowly coming into standing here. And what we're going to do is we're going to step back with that right leg, coming all the way into that lunge. From here, we're going to have that activation in that quad, knee stacked over ankle, lower down, bicep curl, and pick back up. Again, taking those deep breaths, pushing through the quad and the glute here. I know your glutes may still be sore from Tuesday, but that's okay. We're going to push through it, and they're going to feel better after today's class. We're simultaneously focusing on the bicep curl here. Lower, and push back up. 2 more. Legs should be burning a little bit. Last one. We're going to lower and stay. Both knees are at 90. Arms are still lifted. We're going to press up and lower. This time we're using the shoulders, using the chest. Feeling that shake in the left leg. A little bit of a burn, I know. Almost done here. 3 more. Focus on that form. Use those breaths. Last one, lift, and we're gonna pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten out that back leg. Those ones are over, I promise. Till we get to the other side. Let those dumbbells hang right in front of you. Keep that core braced and engaged. We're still keeping a little bit of tension and bracing through that front leg. All we're doing here is swing those arms back, activate the back, activate the triceps, and bring back forward. Swing back, bring back forward. The glutes might be burning a little bit. That's okay. Generating heat, generating energy, using that breath. Couple more. 3, 2, 1. Hold behind you and pulse for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're lowering down onto that back knee. Give that front leg a break. It deserves it. Option to grab those blocks here and just straighten out that front leg. Give it a nice break. You can keep this a flow as well, forward and back. Taking this time to catch your breath. We just did a lot, so if you need a break here, feel free to take it. Couple more. Trying to sink back a little bit farther. Keeping that leg extended, holding it at the top. We're just gonna take both hands and walk them to the outside of that foot. Trying to feel that stretch through the leg here. Might feel a little bit more inner thigh. Just a gentle twist and hold. Don't forget to breathe through it. Let your body know it's okay to relax here. Exhale, walking back into center. Go ahead and rebend that knee and just push it to the outside. Show the hips a little bit of love today too. Make sure they're burning. Deep, gentle breaths. Go ahead and place both hands in front of you. We're going to step back with that foot now, coming into that full tabletop position. We're going to do a little modified bird dog here. If you don't remember what those are, we're keeping that core engaged, sending that left leg back, extending all the way out. Right hand comes up in front of you. We're trying to make a straight line with our fingertips, top of our head, shoulders, hips, and toes. Core should be engaged this whole time here. And we're just going to lower and lift, starting it slow, using the balance and bracing of our core to keep us up. Only things moving right here are the arm and the leg. Don't let the hips fan out. Couple more. This time we're going to lift arm and leg, reach back with the right arm, and forward, then lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach. Coming back to front and lower. Only a couple more of these. Then the left leg will get a little bit of a break. Last one. This time we're going to lift and we'll reach back, bend that leg and reach for the foot. If you can't grab the foot, that's okay, but just reach. Still staying strong through that core. And then go ahead and let go. I'm Coming back into that tabletop position, reaching up with the right hand. One deep breath in on that inhale, and exhale, thread it through. Feel free to pick up the left arm as well and wrap it behind you, sticking it in that back pocket. Still taking deep breaths here, letting the mind and the body relax. One more deep breath in. Exhale, go ahead and unwrap yourself. We're going to push back into that tabletop position. Curl those toes underneath of you. Send those hips back, finding your downward dog. Weight slowly shifts further into those heels, pedaling out those feet. Before we make our way up to the top of our mat, finding that forward fold. Go ahead and take one deep breath in, rolling the spine up, vertebra by vertebra. Reach through the fingertips, find that length. Exhale, bringing those hands, interlacing them behind you. Stretch through the chest. Option to stretch all the way back. Rolling out that neck. And then sending those hips forward, coming into that forward fold. Still taking those breaths, letting your shoulders stretch a little bit further here. Letting go of those hands, bringing them back down to our mat. Finding that center. Go ahead and bend your left knee, walking your hands to the left, feeling a deeper stretch through the right hip. Again, taking those breaths. Before coming back to center, bending the right knee and walking to the right. And the stretch in your left hip now. Come back to center. Feel free to grab those weights before we repeat the same thing on the other side. If you used weights for the left side, I'd recommend using it for the right, just to keep it even. Stepping back with the left foot now, using the right as the front one. We're going to lower down into that lunge, have that bicep curl, keeping that knee stacked over our ankle, tension through the quads, and we're pushing up through the glutes. Lower, bicep curl, exhale, lift. Using your exhale to push yourself up. Slow and in control, just finding that tension, keeping it constant through that front leg. Couple more. Feeling the biceps working as well. Last one, lowering and holding in that 90 degree for both knees, lifting the arms up and lower. Lift and lower. You got it. Using those shoulders, using that chest, feeling that shake. 2 more. Last one, keep it holded, pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten out that back leg. Go ahead and let those hands hang in front of you. Giving your front leg a little bit of a break here. And when you're with me and ready, we're just sending those arms back. Squeezing the back, squeezing the triceps. Slow and in control. So taking the same amount of time forward that you do backward. Sometimes it helps counting to 3, forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Try to get 3 more. Keeping that activation. Last one, send those arms back and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing those weights in front of you, lowering down onto that back leg. Feeling a little bit of a break here. Set the weights to the side. Grab the blocks if you need them. Just go into that straighten and bend flow. Catching your breath. Giving yourself the chance to adjust, relax. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to end with that leg straight. Just walking your hands to the outside of the right leg. Feeling a little bit of a stretch through the hips, inner thigh. If you want to feel it more in your calf, you can always lift the toes up. But if you keep the toes down, you're going to want to feel it a little bit more in the hamstrings. Another deep breath. And then go ahead and walk back to center, rebend that front knee, and push it to the outside. Give the hips a little love. It's definitely tough. Your body probably wants a break. It's okay. Last deep breath in. Try to sink those hips a little bit closer to the floor. Both hands come down to the ground, step back with that right leg. Find your tabletop position again. We're going to go straight into those modified bird dogs, sending the right leg back, reaching the left arm forward, straight line, fingertips to toes, and lower. Core is bracing, so the only things that are moving is your leg and your arm, lifting through that shoulder in the back, squeezing through the glutes, using those breaths. I'm going to add on to it, keeping them both extended, but reaching back with that left arm. Reaching forward, lower, lift, reach back, reach forward, and lower. Paying attention to our breath, squeezing the core, using the back, the glutes, and the shoulders. Couple more. Last one, we're going to lift, bend that back leg, reaching back. Grab the foot if you can, if not, just reach. Feel that stretch. One more deep breath in, paying attention to the difference in the left side versus the right side. Go ahead and drop that leg down, finding that tabletop position. Lift up with the left arm, holding here, feel the stretch, and threading through. Option to pick up that right hand, stick it in your back pocket. Just want to use your breath here. Let your body and your mind relax before we get into the last segment of today's workout. And exhale. Let's go ahead and come all the way back up to tabletop position. Curling our toes underneath, send those hips back, find your downward dog. Ribs to the tops of our thighs. And we're walking our feet up to our hands, slowly rolling up to standing and stepping to the outside of our mat. I'm going to shift this way just so you guys can see me a little bit better. Feel free to grab your weights here, but if your legs are sore, you might not need it. This time we're not switching left side and right side, I promise. You want to have a wide stance with those legs just outside of the shoulder distance apart. As we lower, we're gonna raise the weights up in front of us, sink those hips back, core is engaged, and lift. Not too bad. Sink the hips back and lift. Glutes and quads are pushing you up and holding you as you go down. Almost done. 2 more. Last one, holding those weights out in front of you. We're gonna stay in that squatted position. We're gonna rotate those arms forward facing champagne pores. These are intense, so feel free to take those breaks. 2 more. Last one. Go ahead and pick yourself all the way back up. Deep breath, shake it out if you need to. When you're ready, lifting those arms up to the side, doing little arm circles forward. 3, 2, 1, and backward. 3, 2, and 1. Forward fold all the way down. Give yourself a break, feeling a nice stretch through the back. Bending that right knee. Option to use a weight here if you would like the strength component of it. This is also just a really good stretch on its own. We're gonna lift and close that gate. Open and close. Lifting through the back, squeezing the shoulders, pressing through the legs. Couple more. Building that upper body mobility and that strength. Last one. And come all the way back down. Forward fold, wide stance. Feel free to grab onto those toes. Just give yourself a little bit of a break here. Before we bend our left leg, doing the same thing for the other side now. Go ahead and lift that arm, increase that mobility, and lower. Trying to keep it even, both left and right side. Squeezing through the back, lifting through the shoulder. Couple more before we get to core. Almost done. Use that breath. Last one. Lower that weight. Come back to center. And we're going to drop into that yogi squat. Bending the knees, lower the hips. This is difficult for you. Feel free to place those hands in front of you. Slowly work towards bringing those heels on the ground. Or if you have a block handy, you can always place the block underneath of you. Slowly work your way towards lifting yourself off. Just trying to give the hips and the legs a little bit of a break. Deep breaths. Today was definitely a little bit tough. You guys did great. Got about 10 minutes left for core, so we're going to sit on those glutes. Slowly roll down onto our back, bringing the knees up into a reverse tabletop position. If you want to use weights here, you can. We're going to lift our hands directly in the air and lower opposite leg, opposite arm, bringing it back up. Making sure our lower back still has contact with the mat and that we're actually lifting through our core here. So you're squeezing your left rib down to your right hip every time you lift up. Or you're squeezing your right arm to your left hip, whichever one you're lowering at the time. Only a couple more, slow and in control. Find that breath here. Holding in that reverse tabletop position. We're gonna extend those legs out, arms go to hips, and lift back. Reverse tabletop, extend the legs, and lift back. This is definitely a little bit more complicated than the last one, but I know you guys got it. 2 more. Feeling the core engage. Try to sink those feet a little bit lower. Last one. Keep those feet extended. We're going to pull one leg in and kick it out. Alternating here. Pull in the left knee, extend out. Pull in the right knee, extend out. Couple more. Almost done. Lower back still touching the mat. Ribs are lifting to our hips. Last one. Go ahead and pull those knees in. Give them a big hug. Gently rocking side to side if that feels good to you. Setting those feet down onto the ground. A little bit of a core stretch. We're going to tilt the pelvic floor up and in, pressing through the heels of our feet and squeezing our glutes. Go ahead and just lift up into a little glute bridge. If it's comfortable for you, you can rock all the way up onto those shoulders and interlace those hands behind you. A little bit more of a stretch through the back. Taking that time to just breathe. Slowly letting your hips lower back down to the ground. Coming back into that reverse tabletop position, arms overhead. Letting both toes tap onto the ground and lift back up. Double tap and lift. Still finding that breath. If you want to add a little bit more arm movement in as you lift those legs, you can crunch all the way up, swing those arms in front of you, then lower. Lift with a crunch and lower. Just adds a little bit more of a burn for that core. Almost done, guys. You got it. Last one, keeping that crunch position. Arms are out in front of you. Opposite leg drops. One leg at a time. Slow and in control. Bringing those fingertips up to the temple. Grabbing the back of your head. Letting that neck have a nice break. Core is still squeezed. Only one more. And let's bicycle it out. Opposite elbow, opposite knee. Almost done. Deep breaths. 5 more seconds. You got it. And grab onto those knees. Give them a big hug. Roll it out. If you can, we're just gonna rock up and back like a little ball. Trying to keep it in a little bit control here. Give the core a break. Use the core to lift you up. Slowly rock onto those feet. Another deep breath in. This time we're going to rock all the way into that seated position. Staying lifted. Go ahead and plant the hands behind you. Planting both feet on the ground directly behind those glutes. Just lift up. Reverse tabletop. Give the core a little bit of a break. A little bit of a stretch here. Deep breaths. Rocking forward and backwards. You can rock side to side. Finding a little bit of that stretch. exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down. We're going to extend our feet, reach up and above our head, grab onto those toes. We have one little bit left of the core segment, and I promise we're done. I know I say that a lot, but we're almost done. Just a little bit more core left. We're going to go ahead and lower back down onto the back. Arms are going to reach above our head, and we're going to lift. Modified version, keep those feet on the ground. Roll up, lifting through the core. If you want to increase the intensity, you can lift those feet up off the ground and crunch up. Whatever works best for you, however you can feel those muscles activate. Two more. Last one. This time we're going to lift up and hold, just hold in that boat pose. Taking those deep breaths. If you want to increase the intensity, you have the option to open up, do a bit of a T-twist. 15 more seconds. Feel free to modify and set both feet on the ground. It's definitely a burner, but you guys got it. 5 more seconds. Deep breaths. Grabbing onto those knees, gently lower yourself all the way down to the ground. No more core. We did it, guys. Setting your feet back down on the ground. Go ahead and lift up that right leg outside of that ankle, pressed onto the top of your left knee. Feel free to stay here, or you can grab on to that left leg. Gently pull it closer to you, back of your left thigh or on your left shin. Slowing down that breathing, giving yourself a nice break. When you're ready, sending those hands either side of your body, gently let the hips drop to the left. Both shoulders stay planted on the floor. Gently coming back up to center. Go ahead and unhook that right leg from your left. Lifting the left, hook it over your right. The option to grab on to the back of that right leg or onto your right shin. Feel free to rock side to side if that feels good to you. Go ahead and send those hands either side of your body. Let those hips drop to the right. Shoulders stay planted on the ground. Feel the twist through your spine, gentle stretch in the hips. Coming back to center. Unhook those legs. Bring the soles of your feet together. Gently let the knees drop to either side of your body. One hand over your heart, the other over your stomach. We're going to meet here for our last few breaths of class today. Taking the time to bring awareness to all four corners of your body. Might try wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Feel the back of your head pressed into the mat. Rise and fall of your chest. You slowly allow yourself to sink further and further into the floor. Try box breathing here. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold, and repeat. Letting go of any tension or stress built up throughout the day. Bring awareness and mindfulness to the rest of your day. Setting those intentions, visualizing what that looks like. Taking a full brain scan if that helps you. Where are your muscles tense, stressed, tired? Where are they relaxed? Going to bring us to the end of class today. Thank you all for joining me for our bit of a burner. Look forward to seeing you all again next Tuesday, same time. Other than that, have a good night.